Welcome into this week's edition of the Co-Lin Coaches Show. We're all exclusively about football this week. So joining me is our head football coach, Glenn Davis. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Kevin.
And Coach, obviously a week where you're coming off a tough, hard-fought loss against Gulf Coast. But first off, your thoughts on the game and just how your guys played throughout it.
Well, I thought we played extremely hard. We didn't play as clean as I'd hoped we would have. Had penalties that kind of messed us up, and opportunities to make big plays that we didn't make in the passing game, where we drop balls or missed throws. Plays like that we could have probably had a different outcome.
And Coach, you kind of hinted on both of them. I think if people who back home were watching the first half, it really felt like the drop passes were the story. In the second half, it really felt like it was the penalties, and it was 4 penalties. And it kind of felt like it did with the other 2 losses. You get a big play, and you'd have it called back because of a penalty. You get a stop, you'd have it called back by a penalty. And I know that's a sign of a team still learning, still figure some things out. But your thoughts overall on how you can clean those 2 aspects up?
Well, we talk about them, and we try to coach. Make points of emphasis on certain things. One penalty in the second half I thought was a really poor call. Elijah pancakes a guy over on the sideline, and one of their coaches hollers, and the referee turns his head, and he sees something at the last minute, and he thinks it's holding, and it was a really poor call. Some of the other calls were frustration calls that we can't let things like that get to us, and then. We just got to make plays, in skill positions. We just got to do a better job of that. And, we can't give up big plays in the passing game. One play drive. We got to make them earn everything, and we didn't do that. And then we gave up leverage on a slant play down for one of their other touchdowns. That we just got to do a better job of things that we have been doing a better job of.
And Coach, you look at the stats. We highlight the impact players every week. Excuse me. Will Lloyd. 21 of 39, 202 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. I honestly think this was probably the best game he's played in a Co-Lin uniform. And I told people, I said, it's a shame. This was probably his best one, and unfortunately it was a losing effort.
Yeah, he had some balls that were dropped that just, stats could have been better. There's some throws that he missed that, could have, if we could have given him just a little bit longer to throw the ball, that would, those things could have changed. And like I say, he did play well, and we're proud of how he's getting better and better.
And in the rushing game, you had Trey Minor, 11 rushes, 73 yards for a touchdown. DeAndre Jackson Jr., 8 rushes, 45 yards. Desmond Ray, 4 rushes, 26 yards. DeAndre and Trey were your leading receivers as well too. 4 receptions for 48 yards. 5 for DeAndre, for Trey, 5 receptions, 47 yards. Again, those 2 really kind of feel like they're the engine for the car outside of Will.
Well, they've been really consistent, and we just got to get them to keep doing that. And they've played a lot of Trey's played a lot of football for us, and is playing really confident, and we just got to continue to get him to do those things. DeAndre's been a good piece to the puzzle that he's come in and give us a change of pace, and he's caught the ball well and made plays and showed some toughness on runs, and it's. We just got to, like I say, we got to have some other guys that have kind of got to step forward and make plays. And receivers sometimes, you may be covered, but you still make the catch. You got to, you're covered but not covered, and we've got to do better at that. And those guys are young and they're still learning. So we're doing some things better. We just got to play a complete game and complement each other, offense, defense, special teams, and we just hadn't done that lately.
And you look at your kicking game, and I thought Humberto Rosales did a very good job for you. He was 2 or 3 for field goals. The missed field goal was a 41-yard attempt. He just kicked it a little bit wide. He had more than enough leg for it. Thought that one looked really good. Punting the ball, he did really good job of flipping the field, and I thought he was really solid on kickoffs as well too.
Yeah, kickoff location wasn't where we wanted it to be. We had a great week of kicking off, kicking in practice, and just didn't do it in the game. And if we makes that field goal, some things could change. What we do call wise sometimes. Down by 4 instead of a touchdown. So you still have to have a touchdown to win. But we're kind of things during the game could be a little bit different possibly if we make that field goal. Punted the ball. He's punted the ball extremely well. He had a few kicks that were kind of off the side of his foot, but turned out really good because of the roll. But he's gotten better for the most part.
And you look at your defensive unit, a game where, we talked about the two, we'll talk about the two scoring plays a little bit, but outside of those two plays, it really felt like they were really solid all game. Malachi Williams with another big game. Doug Nelson had a big game, and Fernando Washington as well, too. A game where they held probably arguably one of the best backs in the nation to probably his season low, if not a career low. Trey Hall only had 56 yards. Yeah. It was Chapman who did more of the damage. And Landon Barnes did a really good job of getting out of sacks. There were 2 or 3 times you could have brought him down. He was able to get out of those. But overall, your thoughts on how the defense played?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they played, for the most part, played well. Just, giving up big plays is stuff that you can't do. You can't be good people doing that. And, you can't have penalties in critical situations. You can't give up one-play drives and, tackle a little better. I thought we tackled better than we did against Pearl River, which was a vast improvement. And like I say, the effort was there. We just got to play cleaner and don't shoot ourselves in the foot.
So you look at the scoring summary. Gulf Coast gets the ball first. You kick off to them, and I think it was the second play of the game. DJ Hill-Smith comes in, pops the ball loose. I believe it may have been Fernando that recovered that one as well, too. So you get the ball deep in Gulf Coast territory. That drive results in a 29-yard field goal. You're up 3-0. You turn around late in the first quarter, and Trey Miner powers the ball in from 8 yards out. You look at the end of the first quarter, you've got a 10-0 lead, and you've got to be feeling really good in such a high-powered matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of couldn't start off the way we wanted to. We always talk about starting fast and finishing strong, and that was a great start. And I think the next thing is the one-play drive, and that's the thing we can't give up.
It was the 70-yard touchdown pass from Varnes to J.P. Coulter, a play where it looked like he just kind of ran by all of our guys. I think I told somebody, I said it kind of looked like our guys were standing still when he ran by them. Unfortunately, that made it 10-7. They took a 14-10 lead after a 10-yard pass to Mason Beverly from Landon Varnes, and then made it 20-10 right before halftime with another 15-yard pass from Varnes to Coulter. And, it was that Varnes to Coulter connection that kind of was really felt like it was the biggest difference in the game. I told people, I said, I think Coulter had over 100 yards receiving. Next closest guy had like 30. You eliminate him from the game. I don't know if it's a lot different. Varnes maybe find some other guys, but 20-10 at halftime. What's the message to the guys knowing in that second half you're going to get the ball back and it's only a 10-point deficit?
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing we told them is that we get the ball first, and we had things where we wanted and we let it get away from us, and the big plays that they made was the difference in the half, and we just can't allow people to do that, and at the same time we've got to continue to move the football and score. And sometimes when you get field goals, you look back, you really wish we'd had touchdowns there, and that's just you're glad to get points, but touchdowns is what we got to have offensively.
You come out in the third quarter. This is the drive where you had a field goal. Rosales hit a 27-yard field goal. This was a drive where you probably would have scored had this was where Elijah got called for that holding call. That was a tough break. You got points, but you feel like you probably should have got a touchdown. That would have made it a 3-point game instead of a touchdown game. They scored in the fourth, made it 27-13. DeAndre Jackson Jr. called a 6-yard pass from Will Loy, made it 27-20 with about 2 minutes left on the clock. And then you thought you'd gotten the big stop, but I did get the big stop, and then you get called for that face mask. Unfortunately, that allowed them to run out the game. But you look throughout that second half, again, we talk about Elijah getting called for that hold. He had about a 50-yard completion to Cannon Cato that got wiped out because of a hold. Karan Williams makes a big reception. He gets called for, I believe it's like an illegal motion. And then the face mask. You don't want to say it boils down to those 4 plays, but if those 4 plays go the way of Co-Lin, game's probably a lot different.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I mean, the hold was probably a good call that he called on Jermaine Mitchell, and we kind of had him around the neck, and it wasn't that was the guy just kind of beat us on a move and got underneath us, and that's where his hands and arm went. And the Karan's motion play, it's kind of a hit and miss call. We can't tell on video that he was going toward the line of scrimmage. And so, those are all big plays. Those are plays that we make, but we can't, like I say, we just can't shoot ourselves in the foot by having, 10 guys do what they're supposed to in one night. And on offense, it's a lot harder get away with those things when you do that.
And you look at the matchup you got coming up this week. There is still some good news. You do have 2 losses in the division, but you're sitting there right now, and really you still feel like you're in the driver's seat. You got to go to East Central, and right now we pretty much know if we win on Thursday, we're in the playoffs. We'll be the 2 seed. You're going to have to go up north somewhere to play. Probably going to be Northwestern Holmes with the way things are looking up there right now. But the good news is that really, even with everything that hadn't gone your way, you still control your own destiny going into this Thursday against the Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can ask for is now go play your best and find a way to win. And if you do that, you're in. And that's the thing we told them last night and at practice. And hopefully they'll hear it several more times this week.
And, Coach, what do we know about that Warriors bunch? I know it's a team that they'll have to play on a short week because they had to go down to Jones and play on Saturday. Came away with a 27-7 win and knocked the Bobcats out of the playoff picture. But what do we know about that bunch coming in?
I mean, they're scrappy. They play extremely hard. They've well coached. Coach Webster's done a great job taking over the program there, and they're going to just they haven't beaten themselves in any games. They've played extremely close with everybody. They've been down and came back and won games, and so they're playing really confident right now.
All right, so lots of good things happening in Co-Lin athletics. Unfortunately, the Wolves did drop the big matchup against the Bulldogs, but as we just talked about, the good news is they control their own destiny this Thursday. They go on the road, play East Central, win, and you're in the playoffs. And, of course, you'll have to go on the road, but we'll have that game for you broadcast, audio only, on CoLinAthletics.com. We'll give you all the live stream links once we have those as well, too. As a reminder, soccer also in action this week. Both games on the road at Meridian on Tuesday, at Northwest on Friday. We'll give you those links when we have them available as well, too. Thanks for tuning in this week. I'm Kevin Kyzar, Sports Information Coordinator, and we'll talk to you next week.